Hello students, again welcome to you in our class on chapter friction part 9. In this part, students, we will study about fluid friction and the factors on which fluid friction depends. So let's start the class. Students, before understanding about fluid friction, let us know what is fluid. Fluid, that is which can flow, and liquids or gases comes under this category. That is, liquids and gases are called fluid, and the friction exerted by them, obviously fluid friction. So let us define it. The frictional force exerted by the different layers of a fluid is called fluid friction or drag. So students, fluid friction is also called drag. Now let us see about the direction of this friction. And fluid friction also acts in the direction opposite to the relative motion of the object moving through the fluid, or relative motion. It also acts between different layers of fluids, and its direction is just opposite to the relative motion of these layers. So students, this was about the direction of fluid friction, which is opposite to the relative motion of different layers of fluids. Now see factors on which this fluid friction depends. So factors on which the frictional force or drag exerted by a fluid on an object moving through the fluid depends. So let us see the factors on which this type of friction depends. The first factor you can see, nature of the fluid, especially viscosity of the fluid. So nature or the viscosity of the fluid. Here students, you should know that viscosity is the property of fluid due to which it becomes sticky in nature, and it is difficult to flow among these layers, among the layers of fluid. So viscosity is the property of fluid, and you will study about viscosity in further classes in detail. So let us come to the next point, that is next factor, which is speed of the object. So frictional force exerted by fluid also depends upon the speed of the object which moves through the fluid, and the third, the shape of the object, and fourth, you can see the size of the object. So students, these are the four factors on which fluid friction depends. Now let us take some concept about how frictional force exerted by fluid depends upon these four factors. So let us discuss about the first factor, that is the nature or viscosity of the fluid. Students, different liquids have different viscosity. Some liquids are more viscous than other, like honey. Honey is more viscous than water. So frictional force exerted by fluid increases with increase in viscosity of the fluid. Similarly, frictional force exerted by fluid also increases with the increase in speed of the object moving through it. So as speed increases, friction also increases. The third, shape of the object. Different objects have different shapes, and the viscosity depends upon shape of the objects also. For example, the special shape that is called streamlined shape, the shape of the aeroplane or the shape of the bird, shape of the fish, these are called streamlined shape, and we will study about a streamlined shape in the next part of the video in detail. So this shape, a streamlined shape, is helpful in reducing the fluid friction. That is, a streamlined shaped object has to face less friction. And the fourth factor you can see about the size of the object. Obviously, bigger object will face more fluid friction, that is more drag. And so students, these factors we have discussed, and in next part of the video we will study more about fluid friction And till then, best of luck. Goodbye.